So let's look at this first part, which is the 1/3 part. I said this 2/3 is a little bit needs a lot of time to discuss the percentages and fraction that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specified. But the easy part is this one, wasiyah. Basically you tell, I want my money to go to so and so. This is the portion where you have full freedom to specify. This is fixed. There's no way you can change. So 1/3, where do we get this 1/3 number from? Who comes up with these numbers? So there is a hadith regarding this particular aspect. What happened is this famous Sahabi, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas radiallahu anhu, he was making Hajj with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the farewell pilgrimage, the last Hajj, the only Hajj that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam performed. When he was going with him, they went to Makkah, they were doing Hajj, and he fell very, very ill. This Sahabi fell very ill, and he was almost close to death. So when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to visit him, he told, Ya Rasulullah, no, I have so much of wealth, and I only have one daughter, I don't have anybody else. And should I bequeath 2/3 of my wealth? Basically, 1/3 to my daughter and 2/3 I just want to give it to whatever, So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, no, you can't do that. 2/3 is too much. It's a lot. So, and then he said, what about half? Can I just donate half or, bequeath half of my wealth? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that no, that is a lot. You cannot do that. Then he said, what about 1/3? So then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that yes, 1/3 is okay, but even 1/3 is too much. 1/3 is too much. So he basically, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that it is better that you leave your relatives well off instead of your relatives having to, he did this motion, begging in front of people. That shouldn't be the case. You have to leave your relatives well in good money. So that's why he said up to 1/3 only you can have a say how much it needs to be given. Other, it all goes to your daughter and whoever is left. So that's how we come up with 1/3. But the thing here is that when somebody dies, we shouldn't just jump and say, hey, okay, this person has this much bank money, and okay, these are the relatives, come on, let's start distributing it. He said 10% to masjid, okay, let's give it to 10% masjid. But we have to take so many precautions, so many examples that I can give you here. There is some list of things that you need to do before distributing, okay? So first of all, you have to make sure whether he had debts or not. Sometimes it is mentioned in the will, sometimes it's not. Some people can just come up that he took your relative took money from me, he has to return it. So you have to return that money before even distributing. You can't calculate shares until this money is given back to those people. And then sometimes people don't pay zakah if they were ill or something and they forgot, and that there was zakah pending, and sometimes people pledge to give sadaqah and they don't give. That has to be given. It's not waived, right? If you pledge for $1,000 to the masjid in fundraiser, you have it like you cannot start dividing the shares until that is paid off. That's a debt to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Plus the trusts. Trusts, again, it can be anything. Some people either keep trusts with us, they say, okay, you find in the safe box of this deceased person there is jewelry, right? And this belongs to somebody else that you have to return. Like some people might keep that with them. At the same time, you might have some of your assets with somebody, right? So you have to take it back and count its value before calculating the inheritance. And same thing with the debts from people. So this person who died gave $1,000 to somebody, you have to take that money back and then start calculating. If you don't perform these steps, and if you forget it, you perform calculation and then this person comes back and says, hey, I have $1,000 by the way, it becomes very complicated. So these things need to be cleared first and then we start. And also here, funeral costs and taxes, who pays for this? The deceased pays for it. So before you even start calculating inheritance, you can deduct this cost, the janaza cost, whatever is involved, even small things like coffin and the burial place, everything, and even the taxes that this person owes to the government, you can subtract from it. And then comes this part, which is, we said, 1/3 part. And it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly 1/3. It can be 20%, 15%, 1%, or even 0%. It is not compulsory. Bequest is completely optional. And inheritance, it max or minimum, it is 66.6 or 2/3, but it can be 100% as well. So, but before you start calculating the shares of daughter, husband, father, and all those relatives list that we'll give, this one has to be taken care of. 1/3 just give away, and this is the final step of calculating the actual shares. And again, people who are here in inheritance, they cannot be part of bequest. So these are two separate things. So a mother, father, wife, they cannot be part of bequest or wasiyah. Okay.